What's going on, folks? Ted from Immersion here, and let's talk about the final class covered in the Kobold Press Tales of the Valiant preview packet from their Kickstarter. So, if you missed out on this, the Kickstarter for Tales of the Valiant is live. It is shredding through stretch goals. It's just climbing to the top, on track, I think, to be $1 million Kickstarter if it isn't already. And they released a 63-page free playtest packet that included a bunch of stuff for the game. It included 4 classes, 3 of which we've covered so far, 2 of which were in playtest packet number 2. This one being the final class is the Wizard. We have a playtest, a design diary talking very high level about a couple of things that were changed, and we're going to go ahead and do a back and forth comparison between the playtest packet 2 version and the final version we have here in this preview. Now, the playtest packet version did go to level 8. This preview version only goes to level 5, so we can only speculate about what's coming after that, but we'll talk about what's up to level 5. If you like this kind of stuff and like what I do here on the channel, please consider subscribing. Simple little click for you, big change and help for me. All right, so let's go ahead, and I guess we'll start with a design diary first, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about. And it's right here. It says, rote learning is a new feature wizards get at 5th level. Neither 5e or our playtest gave wizards a feature at 5th level, so now that's a new thing. We'll look at that. And then the battle mage tactical caster is slightly less powerful. It was very powerful. I think we called that out in that video that I made on it, so let's go ahead and take a look. So here is this is our original playtest packet 2 version. We'll take a look at this and then see what the updates are. So here's our little table here. Cantrips, rituals. We talked about this a little bit. Ritual casting is something separate from in Kobold Press Tales of the Valiant. It's not just spells with the ritual tag. Ritual casting is its own standalone thing, which I do very much like. And then we'll roll into, we get Arcane Recovery here at 1st level is our first feature. Once per day when you finish a short rest, you can choose. This is essentially what you have as in 5e as well, right? Once per day when you finish a short rest, you can choose to return expended spell slots. They have to be a combined total equal to or less than half your wizard level rounded up, and nothing can be above 6th level, and that's that. So let's go see if that has arrived in its entirety there. Oh, one thing I did notice, in the original one, the wizard was the only one that had half of the hit die plus 1, so this is 1d6 or 4. Whereas they have fixed that to be 1d6 or 3 for the new version of the wizard. This all pretty much remains the same. So let's go ahead. We get our spell casting, ritual casting, arcane recovery. Oh, a change. No limitation. Okay. Once per day when you finish a short rest, you can use recovered spell slots of your choice. They have to be a combined ring total equal to or less than half your wizard level rounded up. Previously, as stated, it said half your wizard level rounded up, and none can be of 6th level or 6th ring or higher. They have removed that, and I'm really okay with that, right? We're going to be at 13th level before we can use this feature, and even at 13th and 14th level, you're basically going to be able to get 1 7th level slot back. Again, at 20th level, you could get, a 9th level spell back, but honestly, I like this change. I don't think it's that game-breaking in my opinion, but I'm curious to see what you guys thought. All right, then you get Magic Sense here at 2nd level. As an action, you open your awareness to detect magical forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any creature with the ability to cast spells, ongoing spell effects, or magic items within 30 feet. If the magical effect is a result of an ongoing spell, you learn which school it belongs to. This sense can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by a foot of stone. Same things that affect detect magic. And you can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus plus 1 and get them all back on a long rest. I like this because of the change we saw to ritual casting. Ritual spells are now a separate thing from traditional spell casting. So removing potentially detect magic to a ritual spell, which I believe it is. Actually, we may not know that, to be honest with you. But I assume that was the case, and that's why Magic Sense exists here for the wizard. So, again, I think that's basically proficiency bonus plus 1 times per long rest. Okay, so that's pretty much the same. Arcane Tradition comes online at 3rd, and you get the improvement, and that's basically it. Now, we do know there is a new feature here called Rote Learning at 5th level. Your continued practice of the arcane has honed your mind, allowing you to fix a limited reservoir of spells in your mind. choose one first ring Arcana spell. So this is a first level spell in your spell book. You always have it prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. Casting a spell learned by rote still uses a spell slot. I like this. So there's probably going to be rote learning X ring later on down the line, where it basically you've been a wizard for 5 levels. Chances are one spell in first level you've cast it more than anything else, whether that be something like Magic Missile, Shield, Mage Armor, what have you. And it's just ingrained in your brain. So this is now a spell you have auto prepared and doesn't count against it. I like it. It gives you a little bit more spell casting potentially than at least options to choose from than other classes might have. But also, it just kind of makes sense in the power fantasy lore of the wizard, so I'm down for that. And like I said, I assume later on we'll get to higher levels. I wonder if they'll end up changing the higher level features of the 5e or what was the 5e wizard, where you had to just basically have spells always known. And potentially be able to cast them without expending spell slots. I wonder if this rote learning will become something we get later on. All right, so we have Arcane Tradition. Up first was the Battle Mage. Now we know this one was changed slightly. You had expanded talents. This allowed you to get access to the Martial or Magic talent list. I like this. This is a very simple feature we've seen on a handful of these classes, just the expanded use of a couple of, get different, like, again, talents are the feat replacement from Kobold Press. Basically the same functionality in a lot of different ways, but they have limited lists, which again is something we're kind of seeing from Wizards of the Coast in the update to 2024 rules update. So that's pretty much the same. And then you get Spell Ward here at 3rd level. When you cast an arcane spell of first ring or higher, you can create a ward on yourself. When the ward is active, you gain the following benefits. Your AC, you get a bonus to your AC equal to your proficiency bonus. I like this that it's going to be useful the whole time because your AC is going to continue to go up as your proficiency bonus goes up, but also it doesn't make you have to, hard invest into ability scores. It doesn't penalize you if you have lower scores or if you rolled poorly. So you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. It lasts for a minute. It ends early if you're knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you haven't cast a spell of first ring or higher since your last turn. You can also choose to dismiss your ward at no action, and you can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and get all uses back when you finish a long rest. Let's see if that changed at all. Again, it says Arcane Tradition. Okay, here we go. Expanded Martial Magical List. That's the same. Okay, Spell Ward bonus to your proficiency bonus, resistance. It lasts for 1 minute. It ends early if you've knocked unconscious or if your turn ends and you haven't cast a first level spell or higher. All right, so that remains the same. Okay, now they said they changed Tactical Caster. Whenever you cast a spell that deals damage, you can choose yourself and any number of allies you can see to be immune to the damage caused by the spell. I don't actually think that's that powerful. It is a slightly more powerful version than the Evocation Wizard that exists in the Player's Handbook. That one had a limitation and it increased as you leveled up. I think it was based on your intelligence modifier. Let's see what they changed. When you cast a spell that causes damage, you can choose yourself and any number of allies you can see to be immune to the damage caused by that spell. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and get... I don't think that that's necessary. And regain all uses when you finish a long rest. I don't think the problem is the limitation to how often you can use it. I think if we look at the Evocation Wizard here, their ability here, Sculpt Spell, which they get at 2nd level, which you'd be getting this a little bit later at 3rd level. When you cast an evocation spell that affects other creatures you can see, choose a number of them, 1 plus the spell's level. The chosen creatures automatically succeed on their saving throws. So that's a question for you. It's 1 plus the spell's level. So if you cast a first level spell, you could choose up to 2 creatures, and they basically become, they take no damage if they would normally take half. And then obviously higher level spells, it could affect more creatures. You can choose more people to be immune to it. This is allowing you to basically choose any number of people, including yourself, to become immune to the spell, but it is limited to proficiency bonus times per long rest. Whereas again, previously, it was just an always on thing based on the spells you had. So this seems a little powerful here, Tactical Caster, as it was. I don't know if this is the way to go to cause it to be limited to proficiency bonus times per long rest. I think you might be better off almost just copying. You can still keep the, immune to the damage caused by the spell, but make the number 1 plus the spell's ring. Similar to that, but don't include any of the funky language about saving throws. Just make that the case, right? You can choose one, when you cast a spell that causes damage, you can choose up to one. What is the wording here? You can have creatures be unaffected by the spell you cast. Choose a number of them equal to 1 plus the spell's ring. You can, in parentheses, you can choose yourself, and they are immune to the damage caused by the spell. Something like that. I think that's a smarter way to go about it. All right, next up we have, that was the Battle Mage. We have the Cantrip Adept here. All right, the Cantrip Adept. Originally, you got at 3rd level Arcane Alacrity. Whenever you cast an Arcane Cantrip that has a casting time of an action, you can change that to a bonus action. That was proficiency bonus times per long rest. I think that's exactly the same. Yep, bonus action, you can use this number of feature equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. It says, we included the Cantrip Adept as an arcane tradition in this packet because it originally appeared as the 5e subclass in Tome of Heroes. Okay, so I think that existed before. All right, Cantrip Polymath. You gain 2 cantrips of your choice from any circle spell list. For these cantrips, they count as arcane circle cantrips for you and don't count against the number of cantrips you know. In addition, any cantrip you learn or can cast from any other source, such as from a lineage or talent, counts as an arcane cantrip for you. So the benefit of this is potentially if you have anything effects that come down later on down the line that affect cantrips, anything basically cantrips you learn are now things that you automatically consider arcane cantrips. And then again, we can see here, again, it's a little peek behind the curtain because we're not going to see it in the other one, but Potent Spellcasting was a 7th level feature for the Cantrip Adept that's add your proficiency bonus to 1 damage roll of any arcane cantrip you cast. Cantrip Polymath is here, and it's basically exactly the same. Now, I do think it's interesting that you get to add your proficiency bonus to 1 damage roll of any arcane cantrip you cast, was what we had seen previously for the wizard, the Cantrip Adept specifically, at 7th level, when a similar thing exists for the cleric at level 1. So I wonder if there's any changes happening to that. But anyway, there you go, folks. That is it for the wizard from the Kobold Press Tales of the Valiant preview. Next up, we'll be talking about lineages and heritage. That'll be a large chunk of what we have to talk about here, comparing the additional ones. And then we'll move on to backgrounds, which is the following piece after that. Then we have talents. Again, that's the feat replacement. We'll see the adjustments to those. And then we'll also move into spell casting, as we do have some access to different things about the way spells work. And then again, we'll also see things like the rituals and how those work as well. So anyway, folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time.